First book of Moses, Genesis chapter 44. And he commanded the steward of his house, saying, Fill the men's sacks with food, as much as they can carry, and put each man's money in the mouth of his sack. Also put my cup, the silver cup, in the mouth of the sack of the youngest, and his grain money. So he did according to the word that Joseph had spoken. As soon as the morning dawned, the men were sent away, and they were with their donkeys. When they had gone out of the city and were not yet far off, Joseph said to his steward, Get up, follow the men, and when you overtake them, say to them, Why have you repaid evil for good? Is not this the one from which my Lord drinks, and which he indeed practices divination? You have done evil in so doing. So he overtook them, and he spoke to them, saying these words. And he said to him, Why does my Lord say these words? Far be it from us that your servants should do such a thing. Look, we brought back to you from the land of Canaan the money which we found in the mouth of our sacks. How then can we steal silver or gold from your Lord's house? If whomever of your servants it is found, let him die, and we will also be my Lord's slaves. And he said, Now also let it be according to your words. He with whom it is found shall be my slave, and you shall be blameless. Then each man speedily let down his sack to the ground, and each opened his sack. So he searched, and he began with the oldest, and left off with the youngest, and the cup was found in Benjamin's sack. Then they tore their clothes, and each man loaded his donkey, and returned to the city. So Judah and his brothers came to Joseph's house, and he was still there, and they fell before him on the ground. And Joseph said to them, What deed is that you have done? Did you not know that such a man as I can certainly practice divination? And then Judah said, What shall we say to my Lord? What shall we speak? Or should we just clear ourselves? God has found out in the iniquity of your servants here. We are my Lord's slaves, but we, and he also with whom the cup was found. But he said, Far be it from me that I should do this. The man in whose hand the cup was found, he shall be my slave. And as for you, go up in peace to your father. And then Judah came near to him and said, O my Lord, please let your servant speak a word in my Lord's hearing, and do not let your anger burn against your servant. And you are even like Pharaoh. My Lord asked his servant, saying, Have you a father or a brother? And he said to my Lord, We have a father and an old man, and a child of his old age, who is young. His brother is dead, and he alone is left to his mother's children, and his father loves him. Then you said to your servant, Bring him down to me, and that I may set my eyes on him. And he said to my Lord, The lad cannot leave his father, for if he should leave his father would die. But you said to your servants, Unless your youngest brother comes down to you, you shall see my face no more. So it was then when he went up unto your servant, my father, and we told him the words of my Lord. And our father said, Go back and buy us a little food. But he said, We cannot go down. If our youngest brother is with us, then we will go down. For we will not see the man's face unless our youngest brother is with us. And then your servant, my father, said to us, You know that my wife bore me 2 sons, and one went out from me. And I said, Surely he is torn to pieces, and I have not seen him since. But if you take this one also from me, and the calamity befalls him, you shall bring down my gray hair and sorrow to the grave. Now therefore, when I come to your servant my father, and the lad is not with us, since his life is bound up in the lad's life, it will happen, when he sees that the lad is not with us, he will die. So your servants will bring down the gray hair of your servant, our father, with sorrow to the grave. For your servant became 70 for the lad of the Lord's father, saying, If I do not bring him back to you, then I shall bear the blame for my father forever. Now therefore, please let our servant remain instead of the lad as a slave to my Lord, and let the lad go up with his brothers. For shall I go up to my father? If the lad is not with me, perhaps I will see evil that will come upon my father. Chapter 45. Then Joseph could not restrain himself before all of those who stood before him, and he cried out, Make everyone go out from me. So no one stood with him while Joseph made himself known to his brothers. And he wept aloud, and the Egyptians in the house of Pharaoh heard it. Then Joseph said to his brothers, I am Joseph. Does my father still live? But his brothers could not answer him, for they were dismayed in his presence. And Joseph said to his brothers, "Please come near to me." So they came near, and then said, "I am Joseph your brother, whom you sold into Egypt. But now do not let therefore be grieved or angry with yourselves because you sold me here, for God sent me here before you to preserve life. But these 2 years the famine has been in the land, and there are still 5 years in which there will be neither plowing nor harvesting. And God sent me before you to preserve a posterity for you in the earth, and to save our lives by a great deliverance. So now it is not you who sent me here, but God. And he has made me a father to Pharaoh and to the Lord of all his house, and a ruler throughout all of the land of Egypt. Hurry and go up to my father and say to him, Thus says your son Joseph, God has made me Lord over all of Egypt. Come down to me and do not tarry. You shall dwell in the land and go to Goshen, and you shall be near to me, you and your children and your children's children, your flocks and your herds, and all that you have. Therefore I will provide for you, lest you and your household and all that you have come to poverty, for there are still 5 years of famine. And behold, your eyes and the eyes of my brother Benjamin see that it is my mouth that speaks to you. So you shall tell me, my father, all the glory in Egypt and all of you that you have seen, you shall hurry and bring my father down here. Then he fell on his knees to his brother Joseph's neck and wept, and Benjamin wept on his neck. Moreover, he kissed all of his brothers and wept over them, and after that his brothers talked with him. Now the report of it was heard in Pharaoh's house, saying, Joseph's brothers have come. So it pleased Pharaoh and his servants well. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, Say to your brothers, Do this, load your animals, and depart. Go to the land of Canaan. Bring your father and your households and come to me, and I will give you the best of the land of Egypt, and you will eat the fat of the land. Now you are commanded to do this. Take carts out of the land of Egypt for your little ones and your wives. Bring your father and come. Also, do not be concerned about your goods, for the best of all the land of Egypt is yours. Then the sons of Israel did so, and Joseph gave them carts according to the command of Pharaoh, and he gave them provisions for the journey. He gave all of them to each man changes of garments, but to Benjamin he gave 300 pieces of silver and 5 changes of garments. And he sent them to his father these things: 10 donkeys loaded with the goods of Egypt, and 10 female donkeys loaded with grain, bread, and food for his father for the journey. So he sent his brothers away, and they departed. And he said to them, See that you do not become troubled along the way. And then he went out to Egypt and came to the land of Canaan to Jacob his father. And they told him, saying, Joseph is still alive, and he is governor over all of the land of Egypt. And Jacob's heart stood still, because he did not believe them. But when they told him all the words which Joseph had said to them, and when he saw the carts which Joseph had sent to carry him, and the spirit of Jacob and their father revived. Then Israel said, It is enough. Joseph my son is still alive, and I will go and see him before I die. Chapter 46. So Israel took his journey with all that he had, and came to Beersheba, and offered sacrifices to God to his father Isaac. Then God spoke to Israel in the visions of the night, and said, Jacob, Jacob. And he said, Here I am. And so he said, I am God, the God of your father. Do not fear to go down to Egypt, for I will make you a great nation there. I will go down with you with Egypt, and I will also surely bring you up again, and Joseph will put his hand on your eyes. And Jacob arose from Beersheba, and the sons of Israel carried their father Jacob, their little ones and their wives, and the carts which Pharaoh had sent to carry them. So they took their livestock and their goods, which they had acquired in the land of Canaan, and went to Egypt. Jacob and all of his descendants were with him, his sons and his sons' sons, his daughters and his sons' daughters, and all of the descendants he brought with him to Egypt. Now these were the names of the children of Israel, Jacob and his sons, who went to Egypt. Reuben was Jacob's firstborn. And the sons of Reuben were Hanok, Palu, Hezron, and Carmi. The sons of Simeon were Jelumiam, Jamin, Ohad, Jechun, Sohar, Shuhul, and the son of Canaanite women. The sons of Levi were Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. The sons of Judah were Onan, Shelah, Perez, Zerah, and and Onan died in the land of Canaan. The sons of Perez and Hezron and Hamul. The sons of Issachar were Tola, Pubah, Job, and Shimron. The sons of Zebulun were Zerah, Elon, and Jalaleel. These were the sons of Leah, whom she bore to Jacob and Padan, Haran, and with his daughter Dinah, and all the persons, his sons, his daughters, were 33. The sons of Gabba, Zephion, Haggai, Shuna, Ezabon, Era, Aradai, and Hareliah. The sons of Asher were Gemini, Ishua, Barira, Sarah, their daughter, and their sister. And the sons of Barira were Heber and Malachiah. These were the sons of Zilpah, whom Laban gave to Leah his daughter, and these she bore to Jacob 16 persons. The sons of Rachel, Jacob's wife, were Joseph and Benjamin. And to Joseph in the land of Egypt were born Manasseh and Ephraim, whom Asenite, the daughter of Pera, priest, and On, bore to him. The sons of Benjamin were Bela, Betcher, Eshbaal, Gera, Naaman, Eshai, Rosh, Mupin, Hupin, and Ard. These were the sons of Rachel who were born to Jacob, 14 persons in all. The sons of Dan were Hushim, and the sons of Naphtali were Jeshuel, Junah, Jesar, and Shilsham. These were the sons of Bilam, whose Laban gave to Rachel his daughter, and she bore these to Jacob, 7 persons in all. And all the persons who went with Jacob to Egypt, who came from his body, besides Jacob's sons' wives, were 66 persons in all. 66 persons in all. And the sons of Joseph, who were born in him in Egypt, were 2 persons. All the persons of the house of Jacob who went to Egypt were 70. Then he sent Judah before him to Joseph to point out before him the way of Goshen. And they came to the land of Goshen. And so Joseph made ready his chariot and went up to Goshen to meet his father Israel. And he presented himself to him and fell on his neck and wept on his neck a good while. And Israel said to Joseph, "Now let me die, since I have seen your face, because you are still alive." Then Joseph said to his brothers and to his father's household, "I will go up and tell Pharaoh and say to him, my brothers and those of my father's house who were in the land of Canaan have come to me, and the men are shepherds, for their occupation has been to feed livestock, and they have brought their flocks, their herds, and all that they have. So it shall be, when Pharaoh calls you and says, 'What is your occupation?' that you shall say, 'Your servant's occupation has been with livestock from our youth even till now, both we and also our fathers that may dwell in the land of Goshen. For every shepherd is an abomination of the Egyptians.'" I've read to you from the first book of Moses, Genesis, chapters 44 through 46.